All right, here we go. Once again, round two of this shit. See if I can do it right this time. Okay, so here we go. First off, I'm going to look at the report a little bit here. All right. So there's been discussion about Campos. Spent the better part of the entire day talking about Campos and the timeline of Campos. Now, I'm not going to go into Campos' report because I don't have that pulled up, and it'd probably take me forever to find it. But I'm just going to go off of this, right? So this is the LVMPD final report. This is their timeline of how things happen. What we got here is we got Campos Center Service Elevator. So, I'm going to start here. Service elevator at 9:46. So, yeah, 9:46 at night, and got off the floor, 30th floor at 9:47. Now, this is odd because here he walked down stairwell of the 100 wing of the 30th floor and walked up to the 32nd floor. They don't mention the hot sauce alarm on the 30th floor here or anything like that, which is strange. But it is what it is, man. We can assume that, and I don't have a problem assuming it. In fact, hold on a sec. Let me get my. Let me make sure that this is working, and that I'm live. Because for some reason, I can't find myself live right now. Oh, that's why I had to refresh. Oh man, hold on a sec. All right, there we go. All right, we're good. Hey Jeff, nice to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, so here's what we got, and I'll wrap this all up in a minute here, because this isn't the main gist of this, but there were some issues with the Campos timeline, and that's kind of what I've been looking at. I mean, I've looked into it before, and I just keep banging my head against this wall. This sucks, but and I'm not going to go into the Campos his statement because I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm not going to go look for it right now. Security officer Campos walked stairwell on the 100th wing and 30th floor and walked up to the 32nd floor. Now we're going to have to assume that he had business on the 30th floor in the 100 wing, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to walk past the elevator bank to go to the damn 100 wing stairwell. It just doesn't make a lot of sense unless this guy likes doing the Stairmaster all night. I don't get it. This is late into his shift. He keeps saying, "This was my last we'll call of the night," and it's like, okay, so that was on the Nightline fucking episode. He was saying all that shit. So security officer Campo could not gain entry to the 32nd floor. So the problem we're having is timeline, right? People saying, "Oh, he didn't have enough time. He couldn't have done this, right? He couldn't have done all this." Yeah, honestly, he could have. And my memory of walking down the hallway, I believe it was 2.5 minutes. I could be fucking wrong. I'm going to have to talk to somebody else about that because there was somebody else with me at the time when we did that. And I actually have it on video, so I could probably go back and look at it. But I remember walking down the hallway. I believe it was 2.5 minutes. And that's just wandering down the hallway. That was with a suitcase in my hand, too. Just walking down the hallway. I believe it was 2.5 minutes because we did stay in one of the rooms at the end. And I believe it was 2.5 minutes. So, if he was up there at 21:47, 9:47 at night, then that puts him up there about 9:50, right? So give him about 9:50. He walked to the stairwell in the 100 wing. All right, so right here I got him about 9:50. 30th floor, walked up to the 32nd floor, 2 flights of stairs. What are we talking about? A minute maybe. I'm guessing. So now we're talking about, what, 950? 950. Well, no, 951. So we're talking about 951. Security officer Campos could not gain entry at the 32nd floor due to the door being barricaded. All right, so I guess you could say he fucked around a little bit with that. So you could say maybe another fucking minute got wasted of him just trying to yank on that fucking door. So now we're talking about 952. Hello. I don't think I know you, Marty, but good to have you along. So security officer Campos walked up the stairs. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this because I always do. Why did this fucking guy walk up the stairs, man? And so he walked upstairs, 33rd floor. Now, at this point, he has a choice. He could go up the stairs or he could go down the fucking stairs. Why did he go up the stairs? Now, I believe in Campos' statement, if I remember right, he says he walked down to the 31st, but they're saying he walked up to the 33rd. I'm guessing this is probably correct because they do have cameras in the elevators. So I'm hoping they did their fucking due diligence and figured that shit out. So 33rd floor. All right. So he walked up to the 33rd floor. What are we talking about? Another minute, maybe? So what? Now we're talking about 9:53. Took guest elevator to the 32nd floor. Now, elevator. Don't know how long he waited for that elevator to show up, but honestly, that elevator takes almost a little less, is like 58 seconds, if I remember right, to get from the ground floor all the way up to the 32nd. Those elevators are quick. So going one floor ain't gonna take no time at all. And but anyway, we can give that a minute too, right? So now we're at what? 9:53. And I'm not going by this timeline. I'm just going by what I'm just running through my head. So 2,200 hours. So now we're talking about 10 o'clock, according to their timeline. And I'm going to go off their timeline completely here with this, what I'm saying here. 10 o'clock, security officer Campos exited the elevator and walked up the 100 wing towards room 32129. So to get to that 129, again, another 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So now we're talking about 9:57, right? About 9:57. If this is all direct. What do you got? Going upstairs saves him walking all the way back to the elevator court, the center of the building. It's even further to the service elevator, which is on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, service elevator for sure, man. But fuck, dude, you've been walking these halls for 8 hours. You're gonna do Stairmaster that late in the shift? Maybe. I mean, it depends. He's up on the 100 wing. So what you're talking about now? He's up on the 100 wing on the 30th floor. Now, if he had, and they don't say what his business was up there, but we're assuming, and I think it's even written down somewhere, that he had some sort of he had a alarm on that floor that he was dealing with. Now we can assume that fucking alarm could have been 3133, right? So right next to the elevator. Which, okay. Yeah, and I agree with you, man. He does seem like the lazy kind of type. And I mean, he's a security guard for the Mandalay Bay, man. I don't know, man. Anyway, so we got him, at the earliest possible time I could get him up there through just my, rough estimation is at 9:57, right? 9:57, I can put him in front of this door at 129, even in the foyer at 9:57, right? So what we have is the original timeline, if I remember right, was Campos was up there after the shooting had already been done, fucking whatever. And then the next timeline, I believe, was he was up there at 9:59. I believe that timeline got changed to 9:59 was some sort of call he made, and then this ended up being the final fucking timeline for Campos, which I have problems with. I'm about to discuss it right now. But I want to go through this. So, walk the foyer leading to the stairwell, observe the L bracket screwed into the door frame. So they're saying that this happened at 10 o'clock. And then they're saying at 10:04, which is right before the shooting, security officer Campos picked up the house phone located inside the small foyer leading to the stairwell and called security dispatch to report the L bracket on the door to the stairs. Security dispatch transferred the call to maintenance dispatch. Maintenance dispatch then transferred security officer Campos to the maintenance supervisor's cell phone. All right, so you got transferred around a little bit. You got toyed with a little bit here. But so, yeah, I have issues. Definitely confusion. From 2205, 2216, Paddock committed. Yeah, okay. So then 2205, we get Paddock firing the single shots, which we know to be true because we do have a basis behind that. Now, this stuff up here, the 10 o'clock, the problem with Campos, right? And here's something I want to say just off the outset because I know everybody has problems with this, right? These timelines are pretty fucking tight, right? So I'm saying 9:57, I could put him in that foyer. 9:59 was when a phone call was made, which I'm going to kind of go into. That's tight. It's tight as shit. And it should be. Everything should be fucking tight. There is no reason for somebody, screwing around up there when, especially not Campos, when this was the last call of the night, according to his Nightline fucking interview bullshit. I would think this guy wants to go home, wants to get this shit done, right? Why he's up there at 10 o'clock at night, he's now in fucking overtime. But, and I'm not sure how overtime works that place. But at least I believe he got off at 10 o'clock. Pretty sure. I don't know. So 2204, security officer Campos picks up the house phone, whatever the fuck, and he ends that call at 2206. So I have questions, and the questions I have with that is, and if we're to go by this timeline, by the bullet points we have here, what we have is he ended the call. Then Paddock fired approximately 100 rounds. He ended the call, and he described as rapid drilling noises, right? So the rapid drilling noises is something I have issues with. And again, as far as the rapid drilling noises go, he reiterated that on the Ellen show. She pushed him for that to say, I believe what happened was Ellen said, and by rapid drilling noises, you mean gunshots. And he said, yeah, I heard rapid drill. It sounded like rapid drilling or whatever. He didn't back down on that. And then in his statement, which I can't pull up right now because I don't know where the fuck it's at. But in his statement, he says something to the effect of, I heard gunshots and rapid drilling. So he differentiated the two within his statement. I gotta say, I'd say Paddock wasn't ready, and Campos accidentally brought everything forward with his rival. That's exactly what I think, man. But we've been arguing about this all day, man, and that was part of the argument is whether Campos sparked this whole thing and got it started, got the party started, or if he didn't, So. And to me, I always felt like he did. It always felt like he was the catalyst for this stuff, right? I think Campos completely started this whole bullshit. So okay, so what I want to look at is here are rapid drilling noises, right? So the rapid drilling noises doesn't make a lot of sense if it was actually drilling. Did he hear drilling, right? Did he hear actual drilling in there? And we do have, shit, I didn't get that part of the statement up. Fuck. Shit. So I guess this video is going to be a little longer than I meant it to be because I got to find that. But we do have Lombardo saying that Paddock was, I think it's at the beginning, so I could play it again. But I believe, all right, Jeff. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So the deal is, did he hear drilling or did he not hear drilling? Now, the drilling does not make sense in this context here because what you got is you got him shooting out the window I doubt at that point he's doing any more preparation, right? He's shooting out the window at 10:05. Obviously, we know that to be the case. We have hard evidence of that because of all the footage out there of the venue. At 10:06, you know, it was go time for Paddock, right? So if we're to believe the bullet points, Paddock fired approximately 100 rounds in the Vegas Village area. Then Security Officer Campos began walking down the 100 wing towards center court. Then obviously gets shot in the leg. He claimed in his statement that he was in front of door 129 when he was hit, or when he started getting shot at, and then he ended up in this 122, 124. According to Campos, it was, I believe, 123 and 125, but I believe this to be actually accurate. And the only reason I say that is because I believe, if I remember right, the bullet markings match that he shot the Campo. There were some bullet strikes in that area on one of the reports. So I believe that to be more accurate than Campos. Campos probably looking across the hallway and saw those fucking room numbers, and that's what he remembered. But, you know, it is what it is. So, and I'm not too concerned about that right now. So the problem I have is, did he hear drilling? Did he not hear drilling? If he heard drilling, that would tell me that the drilling was happening before 10:05 when the first shots went out. Because once first shots went out, man, it's go time, dude. Paddock's done. There ain't no more fucking getting ready, dude. It's just fucking going. You know, that dumpster's fucking lit, dude, and there's no putting it out. So I have issues with this timeline. The reason I have issues with this timeline, I just fucking watched this again, and I haven't watched this in a very long time. And again, a lot of this stuff I've forgotten. But we go to this, and let me see what my timestamps are on this. So we go to, let's see, it's 7:40 is one of them.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't know where you're getting your numbers, but you are correct.
And I'm sorry if this is quiet, dude. I got it maxed out. Oh, no, I don't. Now I do. But yeah, it doesn't. It's quiet. The video is quiet.
He was injured prior to the mass volley of shooting.
So to follow that, he shot.
So right there, he said he was injured prior to the mass volley of shooting. Now, with that statement there, if we go back, and if that's legit, what he's saying, you know, and this was, I believe, the final press conference. This is on 10/9. This is the one where Laura Loomer pissed him off. And if I remember right, he didn't do another press conference after this. Because you hear Laura Loomer in the background fucking with him. So if that's the case, right, before the majority of the shooting, I think is the way he worded it. So that would put it possibly after 10:05, but before this volley of 100 rounds. At least if you're going to take it at face value, if you're going to take that literal, that's what I'm seeing here. But as we go into this more, and we hear more of what Lombardo's got to say in this interview, we will hear a little bit of a different story or a different take. And, you know, with that, with what he just said, now he said the majority of the, we could argue that, yeah, okay, the 100 bullets that he fired out is not the majority of the shooting outside of, you know, to the venue. Okay. So we could say, yeah, okay, he did fire 100 rounds into the venue, but, you know, Lombardo's just saying that that's not the majority of the fucking rounds. But now we go to the other timestamp I have is 8:40, I believe. Okay.
Shot out the window, as you described it, there were two.
So let me help you with that, Ken, because you picked up on it. Yes, the timeline associated with the original shot and Mr. Campos has changed through investigation.
So the timeline, if you can't hear it, the timeline with Campos in the initial shot has changed.
Have conveyed to you from the very beginning in your zest for information and my zest to ensure the public safety and the calming of their minds is some things are going to change. Now, they are minute changes. Okay, there's not this all-encompassing
And these are not minute changes.
answer associated with the information that we presented before. In other words, it's not completely inaccurate. But what we have learned is Mr. Campos was encountered by the suspect prior to his shooting to the outside world.
Campos, how do you word that?
Prior to his shooting associated with the information that we presented before. In other words, it's not completely inaccurate. But what we have learned is Mr. Campos was encountered by the suspect prior to his shooting to the outside world.
Prior to his shooting to the outside world. We have a problem now. And this is where he just broke the fucking timeline. And again, this is before the final report even came out. So we have issues, right? So that puts the shooting of, or that puts, how did he word it? He was introduced to Paddock, or introduced to Campos prior to the shooting to the outside world. Well, the shooting in the outside world started at 10:05. Not even 10:06, dude. We're talking 10:05. So we could assume, we'd have to assume, if we're going to make this correct, if we're going to make this timeline work, we're going to have to assume that what he's saying here is that Paddock saw Campos. And he's talking about the moment Paddock saw Campos. But how would you know that? How the fuck would you know that? You would have no fucking clue, because there was no interaction between those two. And there are no cameras up there. There's nothing up there, right? There's no cameras. The only people that know what happened up there is Paddock and Campos. Paddock is fucking dead. Campos ain't talking. So, and his fucking report is just a mess. So it doesn't help you in that situation either. So we're blind as far as that goes. He is blind as far as that goes, if he's going off of Campos' report, unless there's some sort of other fucking information out there that I can't even imagine what it is, you know, as far as maybe some sort of screen capture on the cameras in the hallway. I mean, that Paddock set up, which they're claiming didn't happen. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Right? He was encountered. Campos was encountered by the suspect before shooting started to the outside world, which means he saw Campos. He fired at Campos, right? Because that would be the encounter, right? It would be being shot at by Paddock. That's all you got. It's not like he opened the door, shook his fucking hand. It's not like he fucking knocked on the door. It's not like they yelled at each other. No. That sort of shit supposedly didn't fucking happen. So all we have as far as them encountering each other is Paddock shooting at him. Before, according to Lombardo, 8 days after the event, they'd already gone through the room and all the bullshit. He said they didn't get through all the computers and stuff yet. But according to Lombardo, this timeline's bullshit. This timeline don't work. So to me, honestly, what makes sense to me is that this is all concocted. This is all fake. This, and I'm going to go off on fucking conspiracy here, but which I don't normally do. But I can't make this make sense with what this guy just said any other way. The only thing I can think of is this is fake. This 2204, 1004 is fake. It was concocted later. And I could see this being a thing, right? Because the whole idea is they changed Campbell's timeline a couple times. Because why change his timeline? Who gives a shit? Like, why do these guys fucking care? It shouldn't fucking matter. whether he's up there at 9:59 or 10:05, doesn't fucking matter. Unless you're talking about something weird like liability towards a Mandalay Bay or something of that nature, right? That would make a little bit of sense, right? And so they changed the timeline, changed it twice. It's the only thing I can think of that works with what this guy just said. So 10:04, right? Now that's a pretty specific time. This 10 o'clock thing, yeah, dude. I mean, somebody just said, yeah, it was around 10 o'clock. I could see that being doctored, just made up out of thin air. Let's give it a time. Okay, how about 10 o'clock? Yeah, that fits with this 10:04 bullshit, right? So let's see, 10 o'clock, exit the guest elevator, walked up the 100 wing cell seat. Yeah, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it took him about 4 minutes to get there, according to them, into the foyer and to pick up the phone and start calling. So 10:04. Why 10:04? Well, it has to be before 10:05. It has to be before 10:05 because that's when the shots start. So they had to say he was up there before the shots started, because otherwise, at the time, if I remember right, there was a big thing going on. They had a security guard up there before the shooting started. Why didn't that security guard do something about that? Well, you have to place Campos in the hallway because Campos was shot. So Campos was obviously there during the shooting. But if he was there at 9:59, well, we got fucking problems, right? Because if the 9:59 timeline is correct, we got fucking issues, right? Because now he's up there a full, I mean, I guess 6 minutes, right? It's not that big of a fucking issue, but still 6 minutes. He did nothing. He got on the phone and he called fucking the maintenance man. So why the fuck did you call the maintenance man? You're going to have questions in court, liability wise, all that sort of stuff. So they put Campos up there. I could see them putting the timeline 22:04, because we got to put him up there before the original shooting starts, right? So the shooting started at 10:05. So they rolled it back a minute, put it there. Then we got to find another time here, right? So we got to find a time when he walked down the hallway and got shot. Well, we got to have Paddock already shooting at the crowd. We have to have that, right? We can't have Campos up there before, before the shooting started, and we can't have him getting shot before the shooting started down the bottom, because then, when it goes to court, they're going to ask like, well, fuck, dude, you got shot by a fucking bullet. Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you call somebody? Why didn't you panic? Why didn't you call 911? What the fuck happened? That's my guess. And honestly, I don't think it changes the fucking course of what happened, other than possibly in a courtroom when we're talking about liability. But as far as those people getting shot and everything that happened that night, I don't think it changes anything. Whether Campos was up there early, whether Campos was up there late, if he's up there an hour before this, I don't think it changes anything. But I don't think this is true. At least not in this order. I don't think this is true. 22:06, I think they just fucking came up with that time because that's when the original volley happened, and they rolled it forward to make it look like Campos was up there after that original volley happened. That's just my take on this. With what Lombardo just said, the original timeline was 9:59. So I'm guessing, I'm speculating at this point, that Campos was up there at 9:59, and he was up in that, possibly even in the foyer at 9:59. He might have heard the fucking drilling noises. Paddock could have still been working on his bullshit, 6 minutes before the shooting started. He would have legit heard drilling sounds, at that point. That's very possible, because drilling doesn't work if we're going off this timeline. At least, I mean, the drilling itself doesn't work. If it if it realistically was drilling, the Campos hurt. It doesn't work on this timeline because after 10:05, there ain't no drilling fucking happening. That's fucking done. That boat sailed. And then he said something else in this, right? So at this point, I didn't get a timestamp, so it's going to take a while for me to go through this and listen to this again to find the other thing I was looking for. And I forget what it was. There's only 17 minutes. I think it happened at the very beginning of this, so I don't think I have to go through much of it. And I don't even remember why I was listening to this again. Come on, bro. Enough patting on the back. Oh, dude, I don't even have this up, dude. I'm doing it again, man. Hold on a sec, man. Sorry about that.
We want to figure out why, the why to this.
I'm a noob,
and we'd like
man.
to know the motive. That is our most important goal, to prevent any further action
I'm a noob on this.
associated with other individuals.
The idea was
explaining
to
this,
make a
or
more
what
concise
exactly,
video because I just went over all
went
this
along in the suspect's mind to enable him to pull off such
and
a
I'm failing
complicated event.
royally.
So moving forward, barring any critical information obtained during the week, the next press conference will be conducted at the end of the week, Friday. So at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Oh man, yeah, it's fucking now it's getting into questions. I can't remember what it was.
We have found some evidence of medications. I'm not at liberty to discuss that. What note? There was not a note in the suspect's room. We recovered a document that had numbers.
Document. It was a note, bro.
And I
It was a
was
note.
not at liberty to make a guess on what that was for.
The fuck, bro?
It could be. We're figuring that out.
Sheriff, also in the suspect's report, accounts from last night, there were drills. According to other accounts, the guard, Jesus Campos, heard drilling in the room. What
Shit. I can't remember what it was I was looking for. He said something else in this that I was looking for.
So the question is, what drilling was done, or what? Was
Oh, there it is,
intent
the
of
drilling.
Suspect. There was drilling done. It was to the doorway, adjacent wall to the doorway, and just assumption would be to either place a camera or to place a rifle.
All right, so that's what I was looking for. Is the drilling? Is the drilling? All right, so I believe what we're talking about here, as far as the drilling goes, is he drilled into, and again, I'm gonna say this again, man, as I always do. Fucking, this was something that 10 originally came up with, and I remember him doing video after video after video of this, you know, like he used to do. And so shout out to 10, man, wherever you are these days. I know you're probably never going to watch this, but if you stumble across this video, this is on you, man. You found this. And this is something that, yeah, you did. But let me find it if I can. Let me see if I can find the picture just to have it. So this would be the outside of it. And again, I can't, I'm a noob. I haven't figured out how to enlarge this because I don't think there is. I don't know. If I did, I'd probably screw it all up and then get lost. So the hole he was drilling was on the other side, obviously, inside the room. But it would have been about 8 inches up on the casting of the door. So the wood frame around the door. We don't see it here, but we do have a photo where we can kind of see it, if I remember right. Yeah, it's this one. So on this photo here, which again, I know it's going to be real small if you're watching this, but on this photo here, if you blow it up, it's just to the left of the door. And on the lower side there, you see a little white dot there? Now, I don't know for sure if that's what that is. I have no way of knowing for sure if that's what that is. But I remember the 10 videos over and over and over again. And he has a drill in the other room with the paddle bit. There was some argument on whether he went in that room or not. But there's a little hole right there. And so I believe that's what Lombardo's talking about right here when he mentions the drilling in the door. So that's about it. That's about what I came on to talk about. And but the Campos timeline, I don't know, man. It's a fucking mess. It's a total fucking mess. And you know, reading his report as opposed to the LVMPD's report, and it's fucking crazy. And in the end, you know, we're talking about seconds. and I reiterate this all the time. We're talking about seconds. We're not talking about minutes here. So, like, the difference between these events could be in the seconds. Now, it's possible that Campos is in the minutes, right? Because if it's 9:59 when he actually was up there, all the shit was going down. We're talking minutes. But generally, if we're talking about the actual timeline where Paddock shot 100 rounds out into the field, and then turned around, ran to the door, fired I don't know how many rounds because we don't have a breakdown of that. All we know is there's a total of, I believe, was it 32? I think it was 32, if I remember right. But my memory ain't that great. But I believe it was 32. So ran back up to the door, fucking launched a bunch of rounds down the hall. He actually was kind of a fucking Navy SEAL as far as that goes, and not to disparage Navy SEALs, but considering where that guy shot out that door, is that it? No, it's not the picture. No, it's pictures somewhere else. But as far as where he shot out that fucking door and the line of sight that he had to where he was actually shooting was pretty fucking crazy. Was fucking insane, actually. I can't find it right now. Because you can't really see it from these pictures anyway. You have to zoom in and blow it up and everything. But when he shot out that door, he shot out, let's see. Oops. I'll go up a little bit. He shot out that door that's no longer there. And he shot just to the left of where the cameraman is. If you see one of the photos, they actually have a picture from the other side of that door, and I'm not going to find it right now. But if you look at that, and I've actually been in those hallways and seen what it looks like, it's a pretty fucking insane shot. This dude was shooting blind through a door, and he hit 11 shots at the wall. I believe it's the north-facing wall or whatever, however they worded it, in the alcove of 129. And if you see the Nightline video, the girl walks by that wall, and you just see it all chewed up, man. They tore that whole fucking wall down because they're pulling all the bullet fragments out and stuff. So if Campos was legit sitting in front of 129, man, he launched all those bullets down. He got pretty fucking close to hitting them, which is kind of crazy considering he's shooting completely fucking blind, probably looking most likely, if the peephole cam was still up, he was looking at the computer screen. He has a laptop up there. He's looking at the laptop screen and just firing down that fucking hallway. It's fucking insane. Anyway, I'm going to get off of this because I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to have some people in the Discord that are going to that I want to link this to, and I know they're not going to watch me ramble for 2 hours. But if you want to see a lot of the conversation, it's in the Discord. In fact, I'll link the Discord at the bottom of this video once it gets posted. So probably tomorrow the link will be up for that, because I don't have it. You know what? Maybe I can do it right now. Let's see. Because we do have a Discord where everybody talks. And the Discord's actually been active lately. It was inactive for a very long time. But let me see if I can figure out how to invite people to this thing. Because if I get the invite down, I can I put the link in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that'll be the link in the chat. So if you want to join the Discord, anybody that listens to this, if you want to join Discord, that's the link to it. That's the invite to it. Anyway, so I'm going to get off of this, and everybody have a good night. Stay safe out there, and until next time.